Okay, hello guys, and today I'm going to present to you my PC setup or rig, and I'm going to show the insides and tell you exactly what components I've used. So what's still missing from this rig is the graphics card. Now I was kind of building it on a budget, and I went, so the kind of light gaming that I do, I'd rather kind of put more money into the processor now, and then when the full version of Star Citizen is released, I will get, I was kind of thinking of getting a graphics card before that, but that's kind of primarily what I would be using a graphics card for. So the graphics card is not included in this rig, but I was thinking of getting an R9 285 or something similar of that, along that line, or something similar anyway, and possibly a GTX 900 series graphics card. But yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I'm kind of more of a Team Red kind of guy. So yeah, let's get right into it. So firstly, as you can see, the case is an MITX case made by BitPhoenix. It's the BitPhoenix Prodigy, and I have the red edition here, and yeah, on top of it sits my Wi-Fi thing that I don't really use. It came with a motherboard, and I'll just show you that now. So the motherboard is an ASRock motherboard, and it's an ITX motherboard, and I found it to fit my needs, so I got this one. It was about 130 euros plus postage and stuff like that, because I ordered it off the internet. And as you can see, those are the insides of my computer. And yeah, so it is water cooled. It has a Corsair H60 water cooler on it. So as you can see, it's mounted on the top, because the one minor side, the downside I did not like about this case is there is no dust filter or anything at the front where there should be an intake. So there is just like some holes for your fan and nothing else really. But on the top you have some kind of a filter, I think. That's, I'm not sure, but I think there's a filter on the top. And so I have a single 120mm radiator up there with the fan mounted on top of it. And so I have 8 gigs of RAM. I was planning on expanding that later on, getting 16 gigabytes, because I do some rendering and stuff like that with software such as ArchiCAD, and when I render my projects and stuff like that is what I do on my computer, apart from gaming. So I have an HyperX Fury Black 8GB stick of RAM. Now, as many MITX motherboards do, this only has 2 DIMM slots. So the maximum amount of RAM I can have on this is 16 gigabytes. So therefore, hence the 8GB stick, so that I can get the 16 gigabytes later on. And yeah, so Wi-Fi comes pre-built with this ASRock motherboard. That was one reason why I got it, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get an Ethernet connection, like via the plug. So, I wasn't really sure about it, but after Christmas I actually got home plug for my PC. So now I'm using a Network home plug, I think. I'm not exactly sure how that's pronounced, but yeah, so that's connected to my router, which is connected to my PC, which provides my internet connection. And yeah, so now to the powerhouse of this computer, the Core i5 4690K. So it's often regarded as this kind of mid-range, maybe it's not exactly high end, but I would consider it mid range. It's this kind of like €250, €230 processor here in Finland. And yeah, so I thought it was a good value, you know, bang for your buck processor. So, for what I use, I was not going to go with AMD because single core performance is not so good, and I do some Minecrafting, so you know, single core performance is more important in that, especially if you play amplified worlds and stuff like that. So yeah, and I was having some problems actually with the audio with this motherboard. At first, it was kind of difficult to get it from the front panel, and I had to use this. I had to use my USB gaming headset. Not so much of a good experience because I was well, the gaming headset's old. It's a Sound Blaster Tactic 3D Rage, not wireless, and yeah, it's not very comfortable. There are many cons to that headset. But yeah, that was what I had to use at first, but now everything's alright. And audio's perfectly fine. Now to some of the other components in this computer. So, I have a Corsair CX600M, so a 600 watt power supply that is semi-modular, or what they like to call semi-modular. So, I have the CPU power cable, or that's right there, if you can see. And it's, you know, that was already attached to the power supply, as was the 24-pin power for the motherboard. So, and yeah, I have one disk in this system, in this whole system, because I wanted to get more space in the front for ventilation and stuff like that. And also, I wasn't going to need so much space, so I went with one, wait, let me see, it was a Kingston SSD, a 240GB SSD now. That sent me back about €110. I bet you could get it for about 100 euros too, so no big problem there. And yeah, I guess that was all the components. Oh yes, one big complaint. When I got this case, I did not take this case back because I'd already built my computer inside it and I couldn't be bothered to, you know, rebuild it. So I didn't want to take the case back, but I got one fan which was kind of faulty. It was making this sound when it was spinning. So I got one faulty fan with this BitPhoenix Prodigy case. I'm not very satisfied with that. And another one was making a slight sound when it started up, but then it kind of, you know, didn't make much of a sound anymore afterwards. So, not sure what the problem is there. Maybe some kind of faulty bearings or something in the fan itself. But yeah, I would like to return that at some point, possibly. Or I might not. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to point out. So yeah, what else is there to say about this case and system in general? Yeah, the motherboard. Only two fan headers, one for the CPU and one for a chassis fan. One problem with that is because I have a water-cooled system, that chassis fan is actually used for the pump, and the CPU fan goes for the fan that sucks in the air from the top. So that means I have no chassis fans. Yeah, I would have liked more CPU fan or fan headers on the motherboard, but I guess it's an MITX motherboard, so not much space and so on, you know. It's kind of, I understand why they went with that. And yeah, I'm probably going to get a splitter and add loads more fans so that I can suck the air out as well as push it in. Yeah, so I guess that covers my PC setup or PC rig tour, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. I'll probably be making a, oh yeah, I promised a review or slash overview of the G502 Proteus Core mouse from Logitech, so Look forward to seeing you again, and yeah, see you guys later.